Sorry, it's a Wednesday. Wednesday, October 5th. We turned in the Don't Be an Idiot sheet today. If you're at home dead, get better, and then come back and turn it in tomorrow. Then book fair tomorrow. Bring monies to throw at the people. Don't actually throw it. We also wore pink today. Lovely shirt. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Where's that from?
Mean Girls.
Just trying to throw a little quote out there to throw a little love for you know your cultural movies. And then the book report is due in less than a week. Now we're like so much less than a week. Just can't even keep track of it because we're so far along. And then we did not get into this poem at all yesterday, or did we?
No, we
did.
did.
It's not that Olivia was reading it and then stopped.
So we did get a chance to get started into it from there. Let's see, and then time-wise, who do we have reading stanza 1?
It was
Stanza
Anna
2,
and Bella, then
stanza
me,
3,
and then Evan,
stanza 4,
and
stanza
then
5,
Owie.
and then stanza 6.
Many.
As we go through our love poem, well, one, as I mentioned before, it's a love poem, but it's a love poem that I'm not going to mind doing. And we're going to figure out what happens in our love poem, who the people are, where it's taking place, and fun stuff like that. Alright, now we'll begin again since we can be able to get through without having to have that horrible bell thing interrupt us. Stanza 1!
Can I do it again?
Yes, please.
Okay. It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel. And this maiden she lived with no longer thought than to love and be loved by me.
I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love. I and my Annabel, with a love that
Winged seraphs
of heaven coveted her and me.
In this way, the reason that long ago in the kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cold, chilling
cloud.
My beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kingsmen came and bore her away from me to shut her in a
Sepulcher.
Okay, in the kingdom by the sea.
The angels not half so happy in heaven when envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason all men know in this kingdom by the sea that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee.
But our love was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than me, of many far wiser than me. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee.
For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulcher there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
So beautiful.
I'm going to cry.
Back to our first stanza. There's many a year ago in the kingdom by the sea that made her live, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. First off, where's our poem taking place?
In a kingdom.
In a kingdom. In the kingdom. In the sea. And I don't know if when it says a kingdom by the sea, it means like an actual kingdom or just like a large city. Either one could work, large kingdom or city. Either way, it's some place with lots of people, and it's down near an oceany, bottom of the water, sea type place. And we have two characters in our poem so far. One of them with a name, one of them without really having a name. May?
I and Annabel Lee.
Nice one. And the I is not Edgar Allan Poe. It is just like we did the caterpillar poem with the guy Robert something, who was not a well-named caterpillar, and he was pretending to be one. Same thing here. The speaker is just a dude who, we'll call him Dude. A dude that's not Edgar Allan Poe. So there's Dude, and there's Annabel Lee. And we find out about how Dude and Annabel Lee feel about each other. And how they feel about each other? Love each other. Love. So they look at each other, and they love each other very much. Dude wakes up in the morning and stretches and goes, oh, I love Annabel Lee. And Annabel Lee goes, I love Dude, because he has no name. And everything is wonderful. I've mentioned the word allusion before, reference to things from past stories. The first line, it was many and many a year ago, is an allusion to how kids' books begin. What is that allusion?
Once upon a time.
well, they should have a show after
long
that.
time ago.
Once upon a time. And so, and what type of story starts that way?
Fairy tales.
So the idea is that this poem is supposed to be like a fairy tale, because fairy tales are happy stories about princesses who love princes, and they go out and fight dragons, and everything is wonderful, just like this poem. It's about good triumphing over evil, and about love, and a dude, and Annabel Lee, and everything is great. Line 3, when it says that a maiden there lived whom you may know, it just means that she's not some random scrub chick. She's one that like everyone knows, like, oh, she's awesome, everybody knows her. I mean, I don't know if it's like Taylor Swiftian levels, but it's at least where like people know her around. They're like, oh, that girl. I'm like, that's my girl. And so he's all excited, and like they high five each other. We love each other because love is beautiful. So beautiful, we get to stanza 2. I was a child, and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love. I am my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. Well, that first line, not trying to be creepy. When it says I was a child and she was a child, it doesn't mean like they're little toddlers, like in the wave, hit them and knock them over. The idea is that we don't want old people love, because old people love is creepy. I with my walker and she with her cane, and I broke my hip when she hugged me, and stuff like that. That's not where we're aiming with when you get to love. So you want to try and aim for the love that people find in storybooks and movies. Roughly how old are we looking? Maybe my guess too. Probably not you teen, probably a little bit older teen, to make it slightly less creepy. So I'm guessing older teen, 16, 17, 18, 20 teen, 21 teen, somewhere in that area. They're still teens. Somewhere in that area. So when it says I was a child and she was a child, they're young and they're in love and everything is great. So strong, and it says, but we loved with a love that was more than love. Imagine if you will, there's a love ladder that you can climb up. At the bottom of the love ladder is the love you have for your siblings, like brothers and sisters. That's why it's the bottom rung, because you can step on it on the way up. I have a brother also. But the idea being is that you have to love them because your parents don't give you a choice. They're like, you have to love them. I don't love them. You do. Okay. Above brothers and sisters on the ladder, the next rung up is going to be friends, because they're like brothers and sisters that you get to choose. You're like a brother that I don't have to hate all the time. And so you have them the next step up. Above friends are going to be your parents, because they're the ones who brought you into this world. They also feed you and stuff like that. And they're like, if you don't love me, you don't exist anymore. Because if I wasn't here, you don't exist. You're like, oh, that's a good point. So they get to be above that. Someday, you're going to find special winky person. That's the next level above that, where you keep going up the ladder, that person, you go, and they look at you and go, winky, and whoever your special winky person may be. Above that is like the super love, like they write books about, and the movies and stuff like that, where you see them like running toward each other like in the waves, like them splashing up like that. You're like, oh, it's so beautiful. That's like the level above, that's something you'll never achieve, but you'll get to read about. That's the next level. Annabel Lee and Dude, theirs goes even higher. So it's like if you get to the top of your normal ladder and then jump up and grab onto like the next ladder that's up there, that's where Annabel Lee and Dude are. It's so strong that when they look at each other, little love bubbles appear in front of them. It just manifests, I love you so much. Love is strong. And there's little love bubbles floating around. Larry.
Well, don't you have to love her equally? Because my parents always tell me that they shouldn't be above them.
Your parents have lied to you. I'm sorry. Sophia. Never mind. Isaac.
You were saying about like the winky winkies?
Yes.
It could also be like the one who from who he side from the glove and the lion.
That would also be true. The same idea of the winky winky. Yes, dear?
Can I go to the bathroom?
Sure. Points?
What?
Points or pass? Go for it. It was just a raisin I found in my pocket and you guys looked all excited. I did not know you. Now you've lost 12 points for the week, dear, just so you're aware. So you're down to 13. The problem with these love bubbles that form from them staring at each other is these bubbles keep floating, as bubbles do, they keep floating up into the air. Bubble, 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 and then popping way up there. Their bubbles begin to get the attention of these things called seraphs. If you don't know what a seraph is, that's okay. I did not know either. They're these things with wings that exist way, way, way up there in the sky. Wrong, Meyer?
Are they those like naked babies?
They're kind of like naked babies, if you wanted to imagine that. That's your own creepy world. Vera? They are a type of angel. It turns out, and I did not know this until I started reading more about the poem, that there's rankings of angels. There's like the ladder, but there's like an angel rankings as you go up. And so I guess the idea that angels are supposed to be the embodiment of love. If you were to take a person and you just squeeze them really hard so all the love comes out like, and then eventually the love goes, and it turns into an angel. That's how angels are made. And so it's of all the love you squeeze out of a person, and the little angel flaps around. If you were to grab one of those angels and you squeeze that one hard enough, eventually the love that pops out of that one, it pops out is a seraph. So it's even higher ranking than the normal ones. I don't know. They're supposed to be just made out of pure love. As they flap around their wings, the sound it makes when they flap, it just goes, that's how much love is in them. The problem is, with this, and these little love bubbles coming up, this love bubble has more love in the bubble than the seraphs do. So it makes them feel an emotion they've never felt before, which is the coveting. So all of a sudden, these little, the little love bubbles would pop. Love, more love than you. We're better than you. This is so much love. That they begin to covet this love. I don't know what covet means. Covet is, you can covet someone else's shoes or their new car. Other teachers here covet my teaching ability. I covet other people's amount of hair. And stuff like that, so it gives you the idea of what covet means.
No.
It's correct.
Insult.
Oh, let's not go that far. So, covet is when you are jealous of something, that you want something that someone else has. So these angels begin to covet the love. These angels, which are made of love, made of the goodness and the love that goes into it, feel this emotion for the first time, and it begins to change. The angels. And they go from being these creatures of love to these creatures of love with a wee bit of anger to them.
Like you.
Minus the creature of love. Yes. Just go straight to the being of anger and you got it. So with the love bubbles, it causes the angels to do something, which takes us to stanza 3. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. We're going to get there. That's where the learning comes in. Well, first off, we find out what season of the year is taking place, at least from clues. Why do you say winter? Why do you say fall?
Because it's chilly.
Yeah, and so it's definitely taking place either late fall, winter, early spring, sometime where we have the cold wind, which is out there. And the cold wind is blowing, and so you have the cold wind that blows across her. And she's hanging out with Dude, as Annabel Lee and Dude go out and they high-five each other. We love each other. High-five. Her kinsmen come and steal her away. Yeah, what are kinsmen? You all have kinsmen. Many of you fight with your kinsmen on a regular basis. Some of you even see your kinsmen here at school, whether you like it or not. And what are our kinsmen?
Brothers and siblings.
Your family. So kinsman is just a fancy word for family. So it says her family comes and steals her away. Not only that, her family is highborn. So it tells us something about what kind of family she has. Yeah, either royal or rich or fancy-pancy or something where they're all well-off and well-to-do. And they come and take her, and they go and throw her in, or shut her up into, a sepulcher. I don't know what a sepulcher is. A sepulcher is a synonym for a word we've already used this year in the poem Caterpillar.
Plant.
They did not put her in a cocoon. The above ground mausoleum. So a sepulcher and a mausoleum are the same thing. So, if her family goes and throws her into a sepulcher, using our hopefully deductive reasoning, what has happened?
She died.
She was murdered.
Not
Happy
true.
death.
She is dead. Oh wait, hang on.
Rest assured.
So she has died. She still has her ice cream. It's okay. But it's just like in the caterpillar. It was important to know that it was the above ground thing that he goes into. Same thing here. It's going to be the sepulcher is an above ground burial, and so she goes, or they go and put her into there and bury her. Mr. Brovicast, you said this was a love poem. It is. We're still getting there. I mean, one, we've talked about how much love they had, and it was so much love that it caused her to die. But it turns out it was not an accident that she died. It turns out dude believes there is someone responsible. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. So dude claims it's not an accident that she died, that someone was responsible. Who was responsible for her death? The angels. He claims that she was assassinated. That the angels stood up there with their little angel wings, and they saw her walking by, and they went, "Oh, that girl, flappy, 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 flappy." And they sit down like a homing wind missile.
Look at those animations.
I know. Yeah, cartoon. And that's what ended up killing her. Mr. Brovicast, wind can't kill you. It can. I mean, if it's like a hurricane, it can throw you against the wall. But that's not what kills her here. It's not the wind necessarily, but a side effect of the wind.
Hypothermia?
That'd be my guess. Something along hypothermia or flu, or what's the other?
Measles.
Measles. I'm not sure that comes from the cold weather.
Bubonic plague.
Frostbite. So here's where we're going to have to use our imagination for a moment, and this is where my dramatic English interpretation of it. Let's back up for a moment to how old are Dude and Annabel Lee?
20.
Late teens, early 20s. Do teenagers make good choices?
No.
Wow, did you answer that quickly? But if it helps, these are teenagers in love. Do teenagers in love make good choices?
No.
You answered that even more quickly. And so we have two teens in love, and I'm assuming that it was the cold, the wintertime. And so Annabel Lee and Dude live near a beach, and so Dude probably invited her out for a walk. Hey, Annabel Lee. I'm sorry. Hey, Annabel Lee, let's go for a walk. She's like, okay, Dude. But Mama and Papa Lee would be like, hey, it's cold outside. Take a jacket. Annabel Lee, being a teenager, does she listen to her parents?
No.
Not even a little bit. And of course, Dude would go, you don't need a jacket. My love will keep you warm. She's like, oh, Dude. And he puts his arm around her. And he's like, oh, I feel so warm already. And they go out walking. Walkie, along the beach, and the cold wind comes in and starts blowing, and she gets a little shivery. Ooh, it's kind of cold out here. He's like, I'll just love you more. Oh, Dude. And they keep walking along, and the wind kicks up even more, and it gets even colder, and she starts going, I kind of cold, Dude. He's like, I'll just love you even more. Okay. And then all of a sudden she goes, I'm kind of, and falls over. So I'm assuming it went something. That's my interpretation. But I'm assuming it went something along those lines, thus causing her to die. But Mr. Brovicast, if the angels were going to kill her, wouldn't they kill both of them? No, because angels are horrible, sneaky, devious creatures. And so if the angels killed both of them, it would not solve their problem. Why would killing both of them not solve the problem? Mitchell?
Because they'll both be together in heaven.
They'll be together in heaven. And so if they go, her, him, and they go, and they both fall down dead, then when they rise up together, they have their human love multiplied by angel love, and they become like angel superheroes, and they go out and fight crime. So the angels can't have that. So the angels, being the sneaky creatures they are, just kill one of them. Thus, she falls down dead and gets buried. He moves on with his life. They get separated, and it makes things much better for the angels. Schuler?
What happens when he goes to heaven? When, like, he killed himself?
Well, part of it is that's one of the questions that comes up. Well, Mr. Brovicast, there's an easy way for him to join her. That's true. But the problem with that is typically the belief is you don't go that direction if you make that choice. You go a different direction if you make that choice. Thus, the angels win again. Because now they're going to be even farther apart, and him loving her is going to become the least of his problems. So because of that, they're like, oh yeah, you go right ahead and make that choice. And he's like, well, what if he dies of old age? That's what they're hoping for. And eventually, because he's a teenager, he'll do this thing called meeting someone else, and then fall in love with this other girl, and then their love goes dooka 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 and shrinks down, and thus the angels win.
Then she dies.
And then the new girl died. Well, then they become happy. The problem is, dude doesn't take this very well. In the stanza here is all of a sudden he's blaming angels for the death of the woman he loves. He's going around town telling everyone the angels killed his woman. If you can imagine, the guy going, my girlfriend died. Like, yeah, we know. They're like, the angels killed her. What was that? The angels, they flapped their wings. She died. The angels did it. The angels killed your girl. Okay. And so that's where he's gotten, where he's just going around telling everyone, the angels are coming. They're going to get you. You got to watch out for the angels. And so he's losing connection with reality, which is where we're going to lead to the fun part. Because he comes up with a plan to get revenge on the angels, to prove to the angels that they can't win. But that's a plan for tomorrow. See you then.